What up, y'all? It's the Robot Watcher. Grab your binoculars, and I'm back after a Panthers win. First one of the season, man. You know what it is. We 1-2. And this is going to be crazy because I'm not doing a video on the offense. Today, we talking about defense. Because at the end of the day, that's what impressed me the most. The players that actually got to finally play, Nick Scorton, Lathan Ransom, Princey Umamielin, Trayvon Morig switching to almost a new role in this scheme that we use for this game. Those guys balled out. Ejiro Evero changing his scheme and how he plays his defenders, how he calls plays, blitzes, things like that, coverage shells. It impressed me. So we talking about the defense today. Let's get into it. Let's not waste too much time. The main thing that changed for this Panthers team was pressure. The name of the game is pressure. We've been screaming this for years. We don't have anybody to get any pressure, especially after we moved Ryan Burns. Even when we had him, we didn't have people with him. Now, we signed our guy, Trayvon Morig, to be a safety, a box safety, almost a big nickel corner. Basically, that's what he is. Right now, he's best as a blitzing linebacker, and that's how Ejiro Evero deployed him this week, putting him in the game as a blitzing linebacker most of the time and also covering not even tight ends, but running backs in a flat. Improved his PFF grade massively. I mean, he was getting like 44s, 38s. This week, he got like a 67. PFF grades don't mean as much because they can't be wrong, but when you watch the tape, he was also getting cooked in coverage by slot receivers and tight ends also. So, putting him going forward, getting towards the ball, getting him around the ball, cooked. And it killed Michael Penix. When he felt the pressure, his footwork and accuracy broke down. Let's get into it. Let's see how he did different. We know Ejiro Evero has been very vanilla since he's been here. A lot of people have argued that are Ejiro supporters, especially the Panthers brass, that it's the Jimmies and Joes. He can't do anything because the Jimmies and Joes have him tied down at his ankle. He can't let guys shadow. He can't run different coverages. He can't run different schemes and shells because the Jimmies and Joes. We got him some new Jimmies and Joes, and he finally showed a little more creativity. Let's look at this first one. This first blitz/stunt is what caused that fumble on Bryce Young against the Arizona Cardinals. This is the same exact thing. We're gonna have two guys walked up: Trayvon Morig in the A gap, Christian Roseboom in the B gap. Then there's going to be 4 down defensive linemen. But what's most important? Look at your defensive lineman on this pass play. You're going to have DJ Wanham at edge. Derek Brown is in a 1 to 2 technique, one of those two, maybe 2-eye. Then you're going to have Nick Scorton in a 5 technique. And then Princey Umamielin all the way in a 7 technique. Outside wide, not even 7. He's basically in a wide 9. Very interesting look. What we're going to do is we're going to blitz. Derek Brown is going to cross the face of this center to move these guys around. It's going to be your classic defensive tackle in stunt, but we don't have any ends. These are 2 linebackers. Derek Brown crosses his face. We're going to have Trayvon Morig loop around, go through the B gap, where also Nick Scorton is going. Then you're going to have Christian Roseboom try to cross Derek Brown's behind, basically, and go through the A gap. This leaves a free rusher, which will be Trayvon Morig. I want to say Lathan Ransom so bad. Trayvon Morig to just blow up this running back and cause the pressure on Michael Penix. This one, he was able to get off. We got to give him credit. He did get this one off. It was completed. We're running a lot of man coverage behind these blitzes. Something we did not do a lot of. This is probably the most I've seen J.C. Horn press since Ejiro Evero has been hired. All right, let's look at the next one. So, sorry about it being in black and white. Last video got copyrighted literally this morning. I've already made my money from the video, but they decided to hit me with a copyright. So we're going to have to do this in black and white. We're not going to play his clips as long as they could. Might not even slow them down no more if I'm not able to. You're just going to have to pay attention to how I speak. Look at this coverage right here. This is going to be your regular cover, basically man. It's all man. We're going to drop Trevor Wallace into the middle of the field. He's going to be your robber. What's very, very good about this play, we have 6 guys walked up. 5 of them go, but we blitz a DB. The way that we used Trayvon Morig was beautiful. He has been, to put it frankly, terrible in coverage. He has allowed, I want to say it was like 97 yards in coverage in the first 2 weeks. I think he was targeted 8 times. He had allowed 7 receptions. He was simply not good. So what do? Use him basically as a blitzing linebacker. And that's what he did all game, and he got home all game. Not to say that PFF is the Bible, but I want to say his pass rush grade on there was like a 76 or something like that. Run defense grade was an 88 or an 81. Really, really good in that, but then his coverage grade was like a 36. So don't put him in coverage. Have him guard linebackers and blitz. And that's what he did. Let's look at this play. Let's let this play roll. I'm not going to let it go the whole way. But you can see he's able to get a clear gap because of the way that we dropped that coverage. It mixed up their pass protection just like teams do us. He was able to get a big hit on Penix. But also pay attention. The way that Trayvon Wallace dropped into coverage, even if Penix threw an accurate ball, if he got it out any quicker than he could without getting hit, had both feet set, threw the ball, that's an interception. And that's going to become a theme later on in this video as we keep going. Great pressure. Great call by EJ. Great way to just change guys' roles around. But let's get into the next play. This next play is a beauty, man. I'm not going to draw it up. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 guys walked up onto the line. Rosewood's going to enter that C gap, basically not playing 3 technique because he's standing, but he's in the 3 technique. We're going to have look at Princely Umami-Yellen first off, standing up at defensive tackle. The way that we utilized him, watching it at the stadium, because I was at the game, I couldn't see it as much. But watching the tape, the way that we utilized him, oh my God, he was destroying guys. Watch this spin move when I let it run. We're also blitzing Trayvon Wallace, so we're bringing 6 whole time. We got 6. You have Kyle Pitts chipping. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 6. So everybody has a one-on-one. And when you have good players and everybody has a one-on-one, those players win. Look at our rookies. You don't have to look at anybody else. Look at our rookies. Princely on the edge. Nick Scorton in this 3 tech. Nick Scorton kills the guard with this swipe pass. Gets through. My guy, Princely Umami-Yellen, runs the corner great after getting a cool dip and rip. And Princely Umami-Yellen, he got to Penix, he got a pressure on him, made him step up. But what he did, he made him step up into Nick Scorton, who's able to hit this guy Penix's arm and cause an incompletion. Just a really, really good play. And Ejiro Evero has been so vanilla, just letting 4 guys rush, sometimes letting 5 guys go in a fire zone, putting these guys in man coverage, and we'll get to that man coverage portion of the video and how great the coverage was. Putting these guys in man coverage and letting them get one-on-ones and just peeling their ears back and going every pass down. Chef's kiss. This is what we've been waiting on. This is what we've been waiting on. Let's get into the next play. All right, last play when it comes to blitzing and his kind of disguising of looks and disguising where the blitz is coming from. This one isn't even going to be a blitz, but because we've walked up guys so much and we've ran so much double mug, we've ran so much A gaps, this is going to be your regular double A gap mug with a cover 2 shell behind it. I'm pretty sure this cover through 2. The way that Roseboom dropped, it made me think it wasn't cover 2, but it was always too high. Nobody ever dropped deep for a third. I think that they all thought this was a screen, so all of them kind of reacted trying to jump the screen. But look at this. Now that we have got so much pressure, we've got so many QB hits on Penix, all of this stuff, when he throws the ball, his footwork is horrible. His footwork is horrible. He's leaning off his back foot. He's almost fading backwards because he's so used to the pressure. He's so used to getting hit. He does have his offensive lineman in his lap. So still good push by who is this? I want to say that's DJ Wanham who was able to do that. Still has Jake Matthews in his lap. But the sense of pressure, it's not that pressure got there, just the feeling that there always is pressure, speeding up his internal clock, makes this pass so inaccurate. And that's what started to happen throughout the rest of the game. Even when we weren't blitzing or disguising a blitz, he's been getting pressured so much, he's been getting hit so much, not knowing where it's coming from, that his clock is sped up. I think he had a 2.4 time to throw, and he was terrible. I think he had like a 25% completion percentage when he threw with 2.4 seconds or less. I could be wrong. I'm just remembering off the top of my head. But you see it on tape. He looks like he's sped up. He looks like he's rushing, and it's killing his footwork. But let's get into the rest of the video. We're going to start talking about when we didn't blitz, and guys was still able to get home. Let's talk about some rookies, man. Princely Umami-Yellen, you had a game. Nick Scorton, you had a game. Lathan Ransom, you played well also, but we're kind of focusing on the pass rush right now. Let's look at this play. There is no blitz here, but these guys have been getting beat up so much. We've been peeling our ears back so much that we're winning no matter if we blitz or not. Let's look at this. This is just going to be your regular Texas stunt. Basically, it's going to be your Texas stunt. It's going to be ET stunt on one side, and both of them, 4-man Texas. Simple as that. If you play college football, you've seen it. In real life, if you play football, you've seen it before. We're just going to do a Texas stunt. But what I want to focus on is how Princely Umami-Yellen crosses the face of the tackle and bumps the hip of that guard to open up the defensive tackle to get open. But he was also able to just rip off of that and get a pressure on Michael Penix. It forces him to step up. He has to slide easy fourth down. I want to say we forced a 4th and 2 on this. So even when we weren't blitzing, because we're actually playing, and not to say anything about any guys getting injured, I don't wish injuries on anybody, but because Patrick Jones did not play, Nick Scorton was able to be a starter. You were able to rotate Princely Umamielen in more instead of rotating in Nick Scorton, and these guys were able to tee off. They were able to finally get into a rhythm and actually get some pass rush wins. But let's get into the next play. Derrick Brown, you man. Man, it's good to have a top 5, top 6 defensive tackle in the NFL back. Simple as that. This is the, 3rd year in a row where there's just 1 or 2 plays where he takes all-pro guard Chris Lindstrom and ragdolls him. The way he's able to just beat up on him 24/7 whenever they see each other is so crazy. Get this big hit on Michael Penix to force the incompletion to Drake London. I'll show it from the end zone angle also. He's just able to swipe by and just beat Lindstrom and lay a big hit. Like, even when we don't scheme up pressure, even when we don't scheme up blitzes, when we don't blitz my guy Trayvon Morig, when we don't have some type of stun up front, when we don't blitz Christian Rosewoom or Trevor Wallace, if we're rushing forward, we were still able to win. I'm not saying that it's all because of the rookie rushers, but I'm saying it's all because of the rookie rushers. Like the way that Nick Scorton played, whether it was rushing from the edge or rushing from a 3 technique, 2-eye technique, something from the inside, the way he was able to win on stunts, the way Princely Umamielen bend the corner, was playing cleanup guy, but also being able to win outside. I feel like it just freed up everybody else. It gave everybody else so much space to actually press the pocket and make Princely Umamielen is making Michael Penix step up almost every other play. DJ Wana missed 2. He was played really good, but now they're stepping up into Derrick Brown. You see the results. But let's get into the next play. Let's talk about another rookie, one I love. There should have been a 1st-round pick. We looking at it right here. Nick Scorton said, I didn't get the full clip. I don't know why, but Nick Scorton has a good get off, a little bit of hesitation, lets the tackle open up his chest, and we're just going to bull rush you into your quarterback. So when Michael Penix pulls that pin back to let the ball go on the check down, now his elbow's getting hit by his own right tackle, or his own, right tackle. You know, Michael Penix also left-handed, so this is his blind side. He doesn't see it coming. It forces an incomplete pass. I don't know if PFF or NFL Pro counted this as a pressure because they be doing weird stuff with their pressure things. But this is a pressure to me. The power that Nick Scorton showed, the spin moves that he showed, the finesse, the explosion was amazing. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if they should take Nick Scorton off the field whenever Patrick Jones is healthy. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to cut somebody snaps, but they got to figure it out. Nick Scorton should be starting or getting almost as many reps as he did this game because he was almost dominant, like right under dominant. He was very, very good. He wasn't a game wrecker. I think his game wrecker, dominant, and then whatever Nick Scorton was this game, he was that. Let's get into the next play. All right, we've talked about what it looked like when we blitzed, how that schemed up pressure, putting Trayvon Morig in a new role, helped him win. We've talked about how the rookies made an impact whenever that they did, even if we didn't blitz, the fact that they were able to win in their one-on-ones, giving much more explosiveness, letting guys peel their ears back, creating more space, making Michael Penix step up into Derrick Brown's airspace. Sean Robinson too, because he had a great game. I think he led us in all pressures with like 3 or 4. I think we had 13 pressures on the entire day, but whatever. Let's keep going. Now I want to talk about how that affected Michael Penix, making him turn down open reads, speeding up his eternal clock, missing guys with his accuracy, all of that stuff. Let's look at this right here. I'm not going to lie. We ran a sim pressure, which means you're thinking that they're blitzing more than you can block, or they're blitzing more than 4. It's not what happened. We only blitzed 4. We dropped Princely Umamielen in coverage. Now, the problem with this is Princely Umameyelen's in coverage. So we're going to have a cover 2 right here. Once again, a lot of cover 2 in this game. Cover 2, we know what that is. It's going to be your 5 guys under and then your 2 over top of the shell. I know this is cover 2 because the way that, I want to say this is Trevor Wallace. The way that Trevor Wallace opened up, it looks like he's trying to carry number 3 or number 2 on the slot up the seam. But the problem is, since Princely Umameyelen's in coverage, he let Kyle Pitts run right by him. This is a touchdown. This should have been Kyle Pitts hitting his head on the stanchion. Simple as that. But Michael Penix has already been rocked a couple times. He's a little bit antsy back there. So instead of actually throwing the open touchdown for whatever reason, he pumps. All right, I'm not going to throw it. And then he overthrows, almost throwing it away to Drake London after J.C. Horn kind of squatted in that position in that cover 2. This is what happened. Guys get antsy. That internal clock goes up. They start turning down reads that would be there. And this is before he threw any interceptions, by the way. We'll get to why he threw those interceptions in a second. But let's move on to the next play. A little bit of foreshadowing here. There is no blitz on this play, actually. We're rushing 4. Trayvon Wallace comes up because we're in man coverage. He's going to get the back. Now, what I want to point out is how fast Michael Penix just snapped and threw the check down without even checking if anybody was covering the check down or anything like that. You know what that means is he's rushed. He pumps. Oh, that's not open. Pumps again. Oh, that's not open. I know, check down. We're just going to throw it immediately without even checking if anybody was there. We're speeding up his eternal clock. Whether it's a blitz or not, he's thinking, okay, they're blitzing. We got to get it out quick. We're hot. You're not hot. You have protection. There's 4 guys there. But because we're winning so much, and I want to also shout out Nick Scorton on this great bull rush here to make it also just seem like there's less time than he actually has. He's able to just flick it out over here. Trayvon Wallace, if he really wanted to turn us up, could have intercepted this ball. But he played it safe and just got the TFL. But that's going to come into play later on when we're talking about his eternal clock being sped up. Let's move on. Look at this next play, man. Right before halftime, they're trying to get a little, I want to say they were trying to get in the field goal range in the 2-minute drill. But let's look at it. We're going to blitz. We're going to send 5. So it's 1-on-1 across the board. But Michael Penix is sped up. So now he's like, hey, we got to get it out. We got to get it out. Even if you look at this pocket, this is a pretty good pocket. If he can hold it half a second, get his footwork a little bit better, deliver an accurate strike, this is probably a first down. But because he's so sped up, he just slightly missed. And that's what you see. His accuracy just got worse and worse as the game went on. These slight misses turn into turnovers. And I want to point out, we're 4th in the entire NFL. We're tied 4th with the entire NFL for turnovers. I want to say we have 4 or 5 through 3 weeks. This is before we started this blitz heavy stuff that we did this week. I don't know if this will continue. I don't know if this will be a game by game thing, but you're starting to see the fruits of our labor. You know, are starting to. I want to say we had 3 turnovers this game. We had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery, I should say. I don't know, but you can see that when you actually are able to get pressure, even if guys are open, even if the pocket is good, they didn't get pressure on that play. Just the feeling of danger is able to speed up quarterbacks and make them bad. But let's move on to the next play. We're going to keep this foreshadowing until we get to the, Remember what I said in that last play. Remember what I said in the play before that when Trayvon Wallace had that TFL. His clock is sped up. He's panicking. He's not even looking to see if there are guys covering where he's throwing it to. He knows where his check down is. He sees 1 read's not open. 2 reads not open. Probably getting off of them faster than he should be, as we seen on that Kyle Pitts missed touchdown. Getting off reads faster than he should, or not taking them when they're there. And then it all comes to fruition on this pick 6. It's very simple. This is a pretty good pocket. Nobody's getting pressure. Everybody's blocked up. He can hold on to it for a second if he wants. Let guys scramble around. Maybe make a play. But he knows, hey, these guys are coming so hard at me. Pause. I can't get anything. As a matter of fact, he kind of had a dig open. If you look at 34, I can't remember who 34 is. He had that dig open if he wanted to take it immediately. But he's so sped up. Nah, man, just throw that check down. And that's when our guy Shaw Smith-Wade. Is it Shaw or Shaw? Shaw Smith-Wade, whatever you want to call it. Gets the second interception of his career. Pick 6. I want to say this put us up 17-0. And it was just downhill from there. It was just horrible after that. Let's get into it. Let me start adding in my next point, even though we've already talked about how this pressure is affecting him. J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, Shaw Smith-Wade, these guys are locking up. This is the best coverage I've seen from a Panthers coverage unit in 2, maybe 3 years since we had Gilly. When we had Gilly and JC on the same team, that's the last time I seen coverage this good, frankly, against Atlanta, which is hilarious. But dog, look at JC here. He's JC the whole time. He knows we're getting pressure. I'm squatting on all routes. We don't even have pressure here. JC's still squatting on this curl or this comeback from the boy Drake London, who's scared of him. Get out that slot, boy. Stop running. Stop hiding. Get out that slot. But from Drake London, and even though it is sky mailed. I mean, this isn't accurate at all for Michael Penix. There was no chance that this was getting completed anyways. Simple as that. Once again, like I pointed out earlier, this is the most I've seen J.C. Horn and press man all since Ejiro Evero has been hired here. We got him up top, press man against Darnell Mooney. We know we win in that matchup. That's our best against a second, third best. We're not losing that. And even still, Michael Penix just sees that his offensive line honestly won this rep. Nobody really won. Guys are getting pancake falling over. Nobody's getting there except for DJ Wanham off of the outside, but he wouldn't have got there in time. His footwork is just a mess. He's leaning. He's falling over basically to throw this pass. His footwork is horrible and it's so inaccurate. But I'm not going to lie. Even if it's accurate, this is an incompletion at best. J.C. Horn probably could have picked that off. J.C. Horn should have had an interception on Darnell Mooney when he was guarding Darnell Mooney into that 2-minute drill when he kind of threw the same thing, threw it a little bit too out in front. And J.C. Horn just dropped the interception. We were locked. This was white on rice. Even if we weren't getting there, the DB coverage this year has been amazing. I wrote an article about it. Not an article about it, but mentioning it when I talked about Trayvon Morig. The coverage from Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn on the outside has been phenomenal. We're just trying to figure it out in the middle. Shouts from MOA has not been bad, but he's just been average. Just average, really. Average to above average. He's been a serviceable player before this game. This game, he hooped. But weeks 1 and 2, he was just a serviceable player. It was really the linebackers and Trayvon Morig who was just killing our coverage, even though we were still really good in coverage. But, you know, they were letting up the explosive plays. This game, it was nobody. Everything was white on rice. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next play because it's exciting. Let's have a look at it, man. I drew it up for y'all. Basically, we're in a 2-high shell, but I'm pretty sure that we're just rotating in a cover 1 robber. Have somebody over the middle for crossing routes to pick those off, and somebody deep over the middle in case they do that. You know, in case they try to throw a post or something, just have your corners play outside leverage and you know, they have help over the middle so they can't get beat deep. J.C. Horn's pressed up, locked. But the problem is, Mike Jackson is also, who is a 4'6" slower guy. He's in off coverage, but he's still in man. It's just the perfect coverage versus this big speed out route. And even if the guy didn't slip, this is an interception, man. Far hash, bad footwork, way too wide of a base, so it's too far inside because he's so used to getting hit and pressured throughout this game. Michael Penix just throws a Coney Island hot dog on rye with relish and ketchup and mustard. Simple as that. And honestly, Mike Jackson should have ran this back. What he was doing, not quite. I don't know what he was doing. But this should have been a pick 6. Should have been the second pick 6 of the day. But dog, I mean, look at how Michael Penix is playing. Look at his footwork in all these plays that I showed you. It's horrible. And that's what happens when you're able to get pressure, especially on a young quarterback. Why is that important? Because next week we play a young quarterback in Drake May. Mind you, he's a lot better than Michael Penix. Drake May is really good. I got to give him his credit. But to rattle a young quarterback, you got to get to him. You got to hit him. Let Trayvon Morig land a couple of those hits he did on Michael Penix next week on Drake May. We don't know if Drake May looks like Drake May against the blitz or against pressure. We got to see it. Not only that, the Patriots, I want to say, gave away the second most turnovers in the league. We ranked 4th in turnovers and taking the ball away from an offense. The rubber is going to meet the road. Unstoppable force versus a movable object. Which one is going to budge? I think if we kind of keep this same game plan, the Patriots receivers ain't that. J.C. Horn, he could take Stephon Diggs. I think he plays from the slot anyway. But if he don't, J.C. Horn can take away Stephon Diggs. He ain't been going crazy anyway. It's like 4 catch 50 yards. We can get on that. Simple as that. That's just me. We just got to worry about Hunter Henry because we can't guard tight ends for some reason. But that's it. That's all I got for y'all, man. So yeah, that's all gonna be it for the video. Apologize for it being in black and white. Like I said, the copyrights. I apologize for the audio last week. I didn't even realize until the end of the video that my mic port had came out of the camera. Simple as that. I hope that it's fixed this video. That stayed in the whole time. It looks like it is. I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, next week, man, I think we need I think the Patriots run a lot of man coverage, if I'm not mistaken. T-Mac should feast. Whether Christian Gonzalez is there or not, T-Mac should be able to feast. Our offense should be able to feast, especially if Xavier League can get healthy. Play pretty good without him, whatever. JT Sanders' injury hurts us, but our offense should have an explosion next week. I'm going to be in the building. We going to Boston. We going on a business trip, just like I did to Atlanta last year. We're going on a business trip to Boston. Simple as that. But I'm gonna be in the building. I'm gonna let y'all know, man. I think the offensive explosion is coming. I think if we run something similar to what we did on defense this week, it will be successful. Will Campbell is a rookie. Go get him. Go get him. Simple as that. EJ, I want to give you a shout out. I know a lot of this fan base has been killing you. The players been defending you. Your front office has been defending you, especially David Tepper. I got to give you a shout out. You called a great game. Let's keep the momentum going. Keep pounding. Put up your binoculars. I'll see y'all next week.